Good morning team, welcome back to Monday. It's a new week, new video. 7:56. Teams are both out before 8 o'clock, which is what we want. Monday mornings are always sometimes a little bit slower just until everyone knows what they're doing. I've got Joe in the yard again. He's cracking on with the big shed. We're taking the cladding off and we're recladding it. So I really want to try and push on with this yard because every time I look at it, it kind of stresses me out. We always had customers asking, can we cut it shorter, can we cut it shorter? And obviously when you're cutting 2 weeks long worth of growth, it's quite difficult to maintain that and do a good job. So I was trying to educate the client that we should really be cutting on a weekly basis as a minimum, but that's in a perfect world where, you know, I guess money was no object. We predominantly cut on the fortnight. Now with the growth lately, it's not been bad. Some lawns grow really quick and the other ones just get stunted by the heat. So that one just there isn't that bad at all, but clients are, you know, booked in for a weekly, so they're just going to give it a tidy up. Is this the best grounds maintenance vehicle you can buy for your business? Let's find out. Now this van is called a beaver tail for cutting materials, cutting other plant and machinery, and yeah, they're just an all-round pretty versatile vehicle. On this one, this is the first one that we bought, we have got the Green Touch trimmer racks. Now these come from America and they are really good. They keep your trimmers off the ground. You can lock them, push that and it locks. You get a set of keys for it. Good morning team, welcome back to Monday. It's a new week, new video, and the guys have just left the yard. 7:56. Teams are both out before 8 o'clock, which is what we want. Monday mornings are always sometimes a little bit slower just until everyone knows what they're doing. That's two grass cutting teams out on their usual routes. Kyle is currently still on holiday. He's over in Portugal just now, living it up. Which is good, yeah. Kyle definitely needed a holiday. Since he kind of moved over here, he hasn't had a proper break away. So I'm chuffed for him to be able to go out and just get some time off. In the last video, I stressed the importance of taking some time off, and especially in the summertime. Because everything's sort of full on, busy season, you know, you're working in, in some extreme heat. This weekend has been absolutely scorching, like 30 plus degrees, and that for us up here is horrendous. Yes, it's an enjoyable heat at certain times, but I struggled, and a lot of people struggled over the weekend, and just trying to get to sleep as well. Jeez. Anyway, it's a bit cooler today, thank God, because if we were doing it in yesterday's heat, yeah, that would have been like potential sunstroke sort of job. I've got Joe in the yard again. He's cracking on with the big shed. We're taking the cladding off and we're recladding it. So I really want to try and push on with this yard because every time I look at it, it kind of stresses me out. I know I sound like a broken record, but yeah, it's just finding the time and then also finding the balance of getting the work done and also coming in here and doing stuff that doesn't actually earn you any revenue, but it is necessary for the operations of the business. Walking into the workshop and seeing like mess everywhere and just like things don't have a designated spot and things are just placed there. We've got a lot of stuff, like there's a lot of stuff in this yard, and it's just even the sort of the smaller bits and bobs that take up all the room. Hopefully going to try and utilize containers up the back there, get them set up for storage, get everything with its designated spot, and then we can hopefully try and systemize things and make sure that everything's labeled, everything's got a spot, so no one comes in and goes, oh, where does this go? You know, it says, where does this go? That's ideally the way I want to get it to. That doesn't happen overnight. It's certainly a long process. So folks, it is later in the afternoon now. I hate skipping. I know it happens a lot in the videos. jump from the morning to the afternoon. But after I was filming this morning, I went up to Inverness to get some bits and pieces. I needed to deposit a cheque into the bank. We don't have any banks around here. Yes, you can do it by the mobile app, but it's got a minimum. I went and did that, and now I am just about to head out and look at a job. Anyway, some exciting news. This will have happened 2 weeks ago because you don't see these for 2 weeks after they're filmed, but we are now an official partner of Holy. If you don't know what Holy is a drinks brand. They are a healthy alternative to your normal sort of soft drinks, energy drinks, iced teas, etc. They have no sugar in it, they're low in calories, and they generally just are all round healthy. They don't have all the bull that is in energy drinks. They don't make you crash as much as energy drinks do because there's no sugar in it. I was introduced to it by Jim, funnily enough. I've seen it around, but he had it a few months ago now, and I had tried it, and yeah, I got myself some, and I've been hooked ever since. You get the 3 types. You get hydration, you get energy, and you get the iced tea. Basically, it's just a powder that you mix with water and shake, and then you've instantly got a drink. There's so many different flavours to choose. My favourite right now is hydration. I've not tried many flavours. I've got the Raptor Raspberry Energy, and I've got the Pear Hydration. The hydration, giving you the minerals and electrolytes, has been a game changer. Instead of feeling sluggish and dehydrated, dehydration is a very, very real thing. I mean, of course it's real, but within this trade, you're working hard, you're in the heat, you're exerting energy, you're sweating. It's important to stay hydrated. And yes, I drink a lot of water as it is, but with the electrolytes and the minerals, it helps a lot with replenishing that hydration. But yes, we're an official partner of Holy, which I am excited about. We are obviously at the early stages of the social media sort of journey, and I'm delighted to be partnered with Holy, a brand that I actually believe in, as well as Cress. I would never advocate or promote something that I don't believe in. We've been approached by multiple different brands, nothing really big. Can you test this out, or can we send you this? I'm not really that interested because it's not something that I would use, and even though we're getting paid to promote it, I'm not going to promote something unless I believe in it, because it's just not the way I am. Happy to be a part of the squad. You can use the code BENM5 for £5 off your first order, and you can use the code BENM for 10% off any other order after that. If you haven't tried it, I'd recommend trying the starter pack, which will allow you to get different flavours and see which ones you like. Certainly the hydration is something that I drink the most, just because you can have a couple of them a day with peace of mind that you're not overdoing it. So yeah, very exciting for me anyway. At the start of my social media journey, all these things feel so far away, but now we're partnered with 2 brands essentially. That seems surreal to think about now. Yeah, it just doesn't seem real. And we're, like I say, at the very early stages of our journey, and it's interesting to see where it will take us. So thank you to Holy for letting me join the team. Good morning, team. It is Tuesday morning. We have just been looking at some jobs. Full team are out at Tormore distillery at the moment doing their fortnightly grass cut. I like to throw as many bodies at that as I can, because it is such a big job. 4 people can get it done comfortably. 3 would be pushing it, but it's a long day, so and it's a lot of strimming, so I do like to try and throw as many bodies at that as I can, just so it spreads the load a little bit. We're actually going to go out there now and see the guys. I need to go and look at the job that we started at the pods the other week there. We're just waiting for the groundworks to be finished, which I believe they have done. I'm not sure if they're going to be doing any extra stuff. And you'll remember I dropped my trailer down there with the glass that I picked up for the customer, so that trailer needs to be picked up, so I'm going to do that as well. See the job, see what needs to be done next, and when we can go in to then progress and finish the job, because the client is quite keen to get it all wrapped up and yeah, get the pod on Airbnb or whatever it's going to be on. So how are you? How am I? Oh, you don't want to know. No, not too bad at the moment. Still trying to juggle it all. Obviously we're 2 men down at the moment, and we're short staffed. Kyle and Damian are away. There's still a team of 5 in, but it makes carrying out all these different projects a bit spread thin, because we're obviously trying to get the grass cutting out of the way and also crack on with the rest of the project. So the start of the week is usually quite slow in terms of the output on those projects, because team are out cutting grass. Once the grass cutting's out of the way, we then have more of a capacity to crack on with the landscaping and other maintenance tasks that we do. So we've got multiple projects on the go at the moment that we've made a dent in. We've got turf coming for the job in Boatgarten on Thursday. We've got a little bit more soil to move, get the finish height absolutely bang on, and when the turf comes on Thursday we can then rattle that in and and get on with that. I have in the meantime been pricing other jobs and projects, so the work is coming in, which is good. Obviously we went kind of through a quiet spell where I took my eye off the ball of not actively going out and getting the work, or being as responsive to inquiries and proactive essentially. Before you know it, you've got through the work that you're focused on, and then you've nothing for the team to go to the following week, so then you're kind of chasing your tail. It's hard to find that balance of being on the tools, being off the tools, and working on the business rather than in the business, because if you're in the business all the time, you're never really going to progress. You need to kind of take a back step, let the guys go and do the work that you've got, and you need to be there in the background working on sales. And sales, I have found, whilst expanding a business, is the most important thing. If you asked me that 2 years ago, I would have said we're really busy. We're that busy, I've got work coming out of my ears, we're months in advance. But that is fine if you want to stay a small team, but if you're trying to grow and expand, you soon get through the work that you've got in the diary, and you need a hell of a lot of work to keep 3 or 4 teams busy. So that's when you kind of change it on its head, and you then need to actively go out and start finding the work to keep these teams busy, and you need quite a variety as well, I might add. It's all fine and well having these big projects, but it is important to also have the small sort of bread and butter jobs. It's great having the grass cutting, it's regular work, regular income. It's quite the machine to run and operate, but we're getting there. The weather's good. It's a lot cooler than it was on the weekend, which is great because it was absolutely roasting. Yeah, I think everyone's in sort of good spirits, so we'll go out and see what the guys are up to.
We're just at Tormore today, so we are doing our general every 2 weeks we do a cut here. So we do all the houses over there. We also do the distillery itself, so a lot of strimming involved, to say the least. But we've got 5 of us here today, so making it a bit easier. But aye, and that's it.
Good day so far?
Aye, sun's shining, so can't really complain, can we?
Hi mate!
Alright.
We're filming.
Filming?
We're filming. Bit of the beaver tail. Like that one. Don't ruin it! I feel awkward when someone's there. I feel like you'd be the natural on camera.
Alright.
Do you know who you look like? You look like a YouTuber. Do you know the YouTuber always wears the sunglasses? Casey Neistat.
Nah.
Yeah!
Where's your glasses?
Nah.
It's got the same glasses you
No
got.
way.
Same hairstyle.
Miles
Put
off
your
it.
glasses on.
Miles off it.
Hat off.
Nah. So I'll be sweaty.
I'm sorry,
So I'm
pal.
working so hard.
Wait, let me.
Nah, no chance.
I'm sorry,
He's
mate.
not even got a beard.
Aye, but if he did have a beard.
I think you're miles off it.
I don't know, like. I don't know, like. We'll get everyone else's opinion back at the yard, eh?
Grass cutter.
What are you listening to?
Just the
Podcast.
tunes. Nah, I'm
Self-development and that.
Yeah, aye, just all about self-development and just how to get through a working day.
And how'd you do that?
Just, I don't know, to be honest. Just think about every single bit of grass that I'm cutting.
Don't do that, you'll get depressed.
Nah, but then I think there's less grass to cut after the grass that you're cutting already. So if you think of it like that,
That's a really good analogy.
it is a really good analogy, to be honest. Yeah. On that, I'll leave it.
Is this the best grounds maintenance vehicle you can buy for your business? Let's find out. Now this van is called a beaver tail. The reason it's a beaver tail is because this door folds down and it looks like a beaver tail. Simple as. We've been running these for nearly 2 years now, and to be honest, they've been a complete game changer for this element of the business, which is predominantly the ground maintenance side of the business. However, they have been handy for carrying materials, carrying other plant and machinery, and yeah, they're just an all-round pretty versatile vehicle. Beforehand we used to tow trailers all the time, either behind the van or the tipper. Now this has eliminated the need for a trailer, and it's given us a more compact setup, easier for the guys to drive around and easier to get into the tighter spaces. These two aluminium sides can fold down, so you can get a pallet on there, you can get turf. We've had so many uses for this vehicle, albeit only wanting it to be a grounds maintenance vehicle. It is as simple as that, to fold the ramp down and then take the machinery on and off. Really safe and efficient. We used to use with the trailer 2 ramps, which does work, but this is obviously way safer. Multiple tie down points on the van. Even on the sloped bit, we can still get machines on here. We've got the Crest Cyber Tank up front, still enough room for a stander or the big mower, a machine in the back, and then we can get the strimmers and blowers on the side. On the other vehicle, on this one, this is the first one that we bought, we have got the Green Touch trimmer racks. Now these come from America and they are really good. They keep your trimmers off the ground. You can lock them, push that and it locks. Get a set of keys for it. So yeah, that keeps the trimmers neat and tidy off the ground, not getting damaged. We've also got the blower rack. Currently doesn't fit our blower, but yeah, a really handy thing for, again, keeping the blower secure. Security is the main thing. Luckily enough around here we don't get a lot of theft, but in a lot of areas of the country theft is big and a lot of these tools would be gone. This is still in fabrication. Sprayer cage means we can get the sprayer in there again and secure, and then over there we've got another tool rack for just general hand tools. So let me know what you think in the comments. Is this vehicle suitable for your line of work? Oh, hello there. I thought I'd answer a question that I get frequently asked once we've built a fence for a client. We always get asked, how do we preserve the wood? How do we preserve the fence? I always answer the same question. The wood that we use is pressure treated, so it is protected from the elements, but it isn't protected from weathering. You'll often see fences that are grey, they've silvered. Wood will naturally, in the sunlight, go silver over time. Now what you can do to stop that is use a clear oil, like a clear decking oil, which you can pick up relatively cheap. It's easy to apply, and what that does is it enhances the natural look of the wood. Now if you look closely, the customer has oiled this front fence, but they haven't oiled the side fence here. So it is a very, very small contrast, but the difference is this over time will fade and continue to fade, but with a coat or two every year, you will enhance and keep the natural look of the wood. You could argue that silvering is natural as well, but if you like that, that is totally fine. Your fence will be fine, but if you don't like the look of the silvering, a clear decking oil is a cheap and easy alternative to keeping your fence looking good all year round. So it's a little bit later on in the day now. The guys have finished at Tormore in good time because there was 5 of them. We've given the option to the clients this year that we come in for the peak growing season and do 5 additional visits. Just because last year with the growth and everything, trying to keep on top of what just such long lush grass was proving difficult. We always had customers asking, can we cut it shorter, can we cut it shorter? And obviously when you're cutting 2 weeks long worth of growth, it's quite difficult to maintain that and do a good job. So I was trying to educate the client that we should really be cutting on a weekly basis as a minimum, but that's in a perfect world where, you know, I guess money was no object. We predominantly cut on the fortnight. Now with the growth lately, it's not been bad. Some lawns grow really quick and the other ones just get stunted by the heat. So that one just there isn't that bad at all, but the clients are, you know, booked in for a weekly, so they're just going to give it a tidy up. But Joe is also going to get his first shot on that mower. Ed thought it would be a good opportunity for Joe to get a bit familiar with the machine and get a bit of time on it when there isn't much of a time pressure. Later in the afternoon, there's not that much growth, so it's a good time for him to get a feel for the mower and, you know, just work his way around it. But yeah, we decided it's best that Ed went around the perimeter because there's quite a lot of trees with low hanging branches and everything, and it's very easy to catch the mower when going around trees and stuff. So that is something that Joe will progress on to, but for now, once Ed has done the perimeter, Joe's going to do the main lawn and get a feel for the mower, practice turning and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, there is only really one way to learn. and it's getting on the seat. It's good to give the guys opportunity and make time to give the guys opportunity to progress and learn and expand their skills, especially the younger team members who often in many places get the rubbish work, they get the donkey work, whilst the more experienced guys get the better jobs. But although it is important to learn the basics first and do those jobs, it's also important to keep the guys keen and eager and give them a bit more, responsibility, just training. So yeah, Joe has shown quite an interest in grass cutting. He quite enjoys it, so that's something we want to lean into and give if that's what he wants. And yeah, it's a good opportunity to do it. We're just heading back to the yard now to do a bit of a Q&A video. It's going to be a standalone video. Whether it's out before this or not will be up to the videographer, editor. But yeah, thought it'd be good to get a little video together, just answering your questions direct. Good morning, team. It is Wednesday. It is a lovely sunny Wednesday morning. It's 16 degrees, not too hot, not too cold. It's probably going to warm up later, but just been out to a job with the guys, back to the turfing job at Boat, just getting them set up for what they're going to do today. They're going to get the rest of the soil back in and ready for turf that is arriving tomorrow. Got roughly 100 odd square meters of turf to go in, which is less than I thought it would be. I swear, when I measured it, I roughly measured it, yeah, I thought it was a lot more than that. I went to go measure it to get the order. I had to measure it like 3 times because I was like, what's going on? So yeah, the majority of the soil is in. They have to move the rest of the soil into place to build it up level, pack that in. What we're then going to do after that is we're going to bring the machine over with the rake bucket and we're going to teeth through the soil. What I don't want is compaction. I feel like you've got to be quite careful when you're introducing new soil to an area. You've had it before. If you over compact it, especially if you're using a machine, if you over compact the area, the water cannot leach down into the ground and it causes issues, and the roots cannot penetrate into the soil as good. So what we then do is if we've been working in an area, especially if you've got a machine in and out, a heavy machine, get the soil to a certain degree, run the teeth through it, almost aerate it, get a final finish with the rake, and then tread it in with our heels. Waiting for the fat jokes to come out saying, oh, you're heavier than a bloody digger anyway. So what putting the rake through allows you to do as well is get a final tilth with the soil. So you can get a final finish with the rake. We've got the laser level there, so we'll use the laser level as much as we can. There will be areas that the ground settles and everything. However, yeah, it's good practice to get it as flat as we can. Ed and Joe are finishing off the grass cuts today. They've headed out to Lagan direction. Quite a big property to do there, and then they've got a few they'll do as they work back, and then that should us be up to date with the grass cutting. We tend to try and get it out the way at the start of the week, and then we can focus on other things. Now, I have touched on it before in the previous video. I could get a team full-time cutting grass in just one team and let that tick over. However, what the guys like about the job is the variety, and if you're cutting grass day in, day out, week in, week out, month to month, it can get boring, and I'm sorry, it's just the way it is. For years I've always broken it up. I've always done a week of grass cutting and then a week of landscaping, etc., just to change it up, to keep it fresh. And even at that, the grass cutting still becomes quite tedious at the end of the season. Towards the end of the season, you cannot wait for the grass to stop, and then at the start of the season, you cannot wait to go and cut grass. That's just the way I found it anyway. So, and it's important to spread the workload. At the end of the day, the guys are coming to do a job, they're getting paid to do a job, but you want them to enjoy that job as much as possible. And if you're just throwing monotonous, boring work at them all the time, they're going to get bored, the quality's probably going to drop, the morale's going to drop, and that's something I'm conscious about because it's not what I want to create. It's not a business I want to be a part of. But we're also very much aware you've got to take the good with the bad and just crack on with it. Because if you have a good job all the time, if you have good work all the time, it's never going to feel like good work, it's just going to feel like normal. So if you get through the more, boring work, the job that you really like doing is way more enjoyable, and it's, it feels like more of an achievement. So I sound like a broken record with that, so I'm not going to get into it because I've been through it before, but I feel like it's important to highlight. Anyway, I'm just on my way to an appointment, and then I'll be back to help the guys later. Beep, 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 beep. Aye, it's getting there. Guys, I'm back in the yard. You want to say hello to the camera? Up. Say hi. What's this? What's that? What's this? What's this? What's this? What's that? Hi. It's 4 o'clock. I'm back in the yard. It is really warm. Gillian's not long just left, so I'm going to jump in the office and try and catch up with some bits before the guys come back. I left the guys to it, just raking out that, getting that final bit of soil ready. Finishing touches, it's ready for the turf to come tomorrow and we'll get that down. And they're just carrying on with some other bits around the property. Joe and Ed should be finished, they'll be on their way back from the grass cutting. I'm going to try and push on and get some stuff done. I am very much looking forward to getting back into that office because sometimes my productive hours aren't, you know, are like through the day. And again, I've touched on it before about the office. This is Gillian's office now, as much as, you know, I come in here when she's not. Yeah, sometimes my productive hours are in the middle of the day or the sort of mid-morning, and I don't want to tell Gillian to like work from home because it is handy when she's here. The sooner we get into that office, it's had its second coat of paint, needs 3 coats, but we're going to go and do what we need to do to it first, and then the painter will come back in and finish it, and then it's just a case of getting it plugged in. Yeah, I'll hopefully try and push on with that this week. I hope. Good morning, folks. It's, what day is it? Thursday. Just getting unloaded at a new job here. Dav's feeling like he's going to fall backwards.
That's sketchy, that.
No, it's not. So, little simple project. All these chips are getting taken away, the slabs are getting taken out. We're going to be stripping all the turf back as well as the stones over there, and then we're going to be putting an edging in along there and along the path. This is going to be a new lawn, a new simple gravel path down to there, which will tidy it up significantly, I think. Just carefully dismantling the fence so we can get the digging in. So I've left the guys to it while I came to dump this load. It is a cracker of a day. Everything's really dry, so just waiting for the dust to settle before I come and tip this. Must be a really, really hard job, this, is it?
So hard. So hard.